All righty. So, first and foremost, want to thank everybody for taking out busy time from their schedule. Sit down and have this conversation with us. If you're watching live, thank you. Go ahead, like and share as much as you can. I'm doing the exact same thing right now as we speak. But, um, you know, again, I appreciate all the feedback that I've been getting in reference to the conversations that we've been having. Can't wait, for the book to go ahead and drop because the conversation is going to get even better from there, especially once everybody have a good understanding of what it is that we out here talking about and what it is that we looking to do. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, only thing that we want is for this cold war to end and us to continue to grow as a people, for the sake of ourselves and for the sake of the generations to come and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to dive into this thing right now. Um, Real quick and allow everybody the opportunity to introduce themselves just in case this is your first time. If you don't know, I'm the author of Can I Be the Man? A letter from us to you should be coming out here soon. Um, we're looking at the end of March, beginning of April time frame. Better known as King Nab. Um, and just gonna let it flow from there. D, go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is D Sutton from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Next up, introduce yourself.
You're on mute,
Yo,
there, buddy.
My name is Lee Boone from Suffolk, Virginia.
Hey, it looks like Chris is away right now. We got one more that's supposed to be joining us here in a second. He's running a little bit behind or whatnot. But if you don't know, we all are a part of what we like to call the 18. Stands for Anointed Together, Encouraging All Men. And it's exactly what it sounds. Exactly what it is that it sounds like. We're a group of brothers that hold each other accountable in every aspect. We lift each other up when we need to be lifted up. We hold each other down when we need to be held down. We're looking to expand that out to really everyone, everyone, because it's much needed. It's much needed. But I'm gonna get off my horn. D, what we talking about today?
so the topic of the day is we was about to talk about this yesterday, but I had changed the topic up. And for those of y'all don't know, we be having these sidebar conversations after we do these lives. And one of our members, he'll be here in a minute. He brought it up, ironically. So today the topic is the five love languages. Um, Before we get into this question, I noticed in R&B music since the beginning of time, um, if it don't matter if a man did right or wrong, he always wants to give his woman the word. When it comes to a female artist, normally what she do, she be talking about she just want you to be there. She just want their quality time. So with that being said, do anybody know what the five love languages are?
I know
Yes,
him.
no.
I know him. Go ahead, let everybody know just in case.
All right, the five love languages are receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, and the fifth one is words of affirmation. So the question of today is, do you abide by your spouse's love language?
We abide by our spouse's love language.
Or do you even know what your love language or your spouse's love language is?
Mhm. I think it's a good question. Hmm, for us up here that are married, me, um, the one thing that I do know, because we read this book years ago, I'm talking about back when we first started, first got together, you know, and pretty much our love languages was the same, which is the reason why it made things so easy. But that's part of the reason why I talk about one of the most important things in a relationship, especially within a marriage, is the ability to grow together. Because just because that love language might be that in the beginning doesn't mean that it's going to be that love language 5 years later, 10 years later, 15, 20, whatever it is that you see fit, because I know mine. Mine, it used to be quality time and physical touch. That was my top two, but it shifted. It shifted as I've shifted. And that it was the exact same with the wife's. Hers was quality time, physical touch. I'm not gonna jump out here and say I know exactly what it is right now. Because it's been a minute since we actually took the test to see exactly what it is. But I would say that the same way that mine has shifted, hers has as well. Physical touch, quality time, very much so still important. Um, but I believe that at this stage where we at right now, the acts of service is a big one as well. Um, am I effectively and efficiently speaking that love language? I'll be honest and say no. And quite frankly, it's because I don't have the time that I would like. Try and do things here and there or not in reference to the other love languages as far as physical touch and quality time. But acts of service, being able to get her to be able to kick her feet up and not have to deal with all these kids, with everything it is that we got going on a day-to-day basis. No, no. So that's something that I will say and quite honest and be as honest as possible and say that I need to and I shall work on. As simple as that.
All right, gentlemen, I'm back.
Researching. I must be over there researching, bro. But like I said, a lot of it boils down to the ability to be able to grow together. Ability to be able to grow together. Not knowing what it is, and being able to act on it is very much so important. Get out my room. All right, and so one of y'all can jump up next. You muted, Lee. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think that quality time is for the most part some semblance of what everybody speaks in general, but there's no silver bullet. I do know what my love language is, and I do know what my wife's love language is. And a lot of times, if you do the things in these specific categories, you can just pay attention to the response. If I buy my wife a gift, I don't really get a response from her. I don't care how expensive the gift is. That is not her love language at all. That is not her love language at all. But on the flip side, if I give her words of affirmation and acts of service, she responds in a big, big way. And that means like that's the way you show her how you love her is those things. So I would tell anybody, if you haven't read the book about the 5 love languages, then what I would say is just pay attention to those 5 different categories: the quality time, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. And pay attention to the way that they respond to each of those categories. That's the quick, short way of being able to find out what that is. And when you find out what that is, then that's what you need to be concentrating on, because each one of these love languages are like different types of unleaded gas. Unleaded gas, if you will. There's certain cars that cannot take certain gas. And a lot of times you feel like, man, I'm really trying. Well, if you feel like you're really trying in your relationship and you ain't getting nowhere, it could very much so be you speaking the wrong love language. And you can't speak to somebody in the language that you feel this is the way you want to. I know what you want to receive is what you put out there and everything like that. But love is a multifaceted, multidimensional thing. So when you find out from your partner what their love language is, my advice is to just concentrate on that, even if it's an over concentration of that, because the best way to get the best out of your partner is to, pump that kind of gas into them, pump that love into them, and then that's how you're going to get everything that you want. And that's the way to get what you want. So my love language is for kicks and giggles. I'm a physical touch person. Okay. And I'm also an acts of service person as well. So that's how you show me love, is those 2 things.
So right now, we're definitely going to revisit the 5 love languages because we've discussed it in the past. And in some way, shape, or form, there's some things that just didn't line up during the time. And I know based off of circumstances presently, one of her love languages right now would definitely be quality time. And that's not saying that that's what she would say it is, but given where we are right now, that has been a most mentioned love language. Me personally, one that's unchanging would be words of affirmation. Outside of that, I'd probably say acts of service. But right now, there's a lot of stuff that I have to address, me personally, as far as my relationship is concerned, because I wasn't really drawn to the love languages, but they do explain a lot because it's also another way of communication when you're dealing with relationships, because it puts a title on something, which gives it a definition, and it works the same way as writing down a goal. So you know what to look for instead of just shooting in the dark, trying to figure things out. But the quality time thing stands out on that because between that one and words of affirmation, they require communication. And with that being one of the things that's lacking in the sense of gathering and gaining an understanding on both sides, those would probably be my target 2 things to look at. But yeah, we're definitely going to look back at these love languages and address those, why we picked those, and go from there.
All right, so speaking for me, my love language, my primary love language is words of affirmation. I feel like that if you can speak that into me, I can get up in the morning. I feel like I can conquer the world. There is nothing that I cannot do at the end of the day. When I'm not even gonna say when I became familiar with the love languages. There was another book that Ron had gave me. It was called His Need, Hers Needs, How to Build an Affair-Proof Marriage. He gave that to me 12 years ago, and I'm dealing with this woman. She used to tell me all the time that quality time was her love language. And I always felt like, I was young. I felt like, man, we're in the same house. What are you talking about? I'm here. I'm present. And I just said that I had to understand that being present was not enough. It was not what she was talking about. So we had some slight miscommunication whenever I told her that I was starting to learn how to give her what she wanted. And she was like, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. And I had to tell her, that's not what I'm telling you. I got to learn for it to become second nature for me. So it can become routine. But learning your partner's love language, it's wonderful. You need to know it. You're gonna be out here trying to you gonna be out here just blowing money, just be blowing money when all she want is just take care of the kids. Give her a day off sometime. Clean up around the house. Bring her a rose. Just tell her that she's beautiful or something. That's all that she wants. That's it. You can't make it any more simpler than that.
Yeah, it just seemed like you have to just be in any relationship that you're in, you have to be willing to just lean in. You just have to be in a relationship and, so many times I think we get in relationships and we try to be the boss, or we try to just, this is what it's going to be. This is what I'm going to give. But if you're really going to give your relationship an opportunity to be able to thrive, you got to lean in and find out what your partner is all about, what they like. You try to figure out what makes them happy and what makes them sad. Avoid trying to do things to make them sad, and try to press at trying to do things to make them happy. Because I remember a minister told me one time, he was in year 11 of his marriage, and he said, man, by year 11, if both of you are vested in, he said, your relationship will be on autopilot by that point. You'll even have disagreements or whatever the case may be and be like, all right, baby, well, what you want to eat tonight? And you stay on course with what you're supposed to do in terms of what your primary roles are in the relationship. So I think that we need to lean in, and we need to paradigm shift, and we need to try different things. I think if a lot of people have heard of the 5 love languages, but don't know the particulars about it, but now you got it. Quality time, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. Try each one of them. Don't go broke trying to do the receiving gift thing, okay? But try each one of them to see how they respond and how they rise. And if you with somebody that speaks a language that is too uncomfortable for you, or you're not in a position to do, take the time to work on yourself so that you can put yourself in a position, because a lot of times we find ourselves in relationships, but we ain't fit to be in no relationship. We got too many things going on. We got too many distractions, or we got too many things on our assignment that we're trying to do in our lives. Some of us are on our purpose, and it's not time for a relationship. It's time to work on yourself and work on where you need to be so you can be in a position to be fit enough to be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying, D?
Facts. I remember a close friend of mine, his wife, her love language is technically receiving gifts. And I believe that a lot of women struggle with saying that that's what it is because they don't want to be deemed as a gold digger. But that's not the same thing. If that's what you really, people don't understand this. A gift doesn't have to have any monetary value. I remember, I believe last time I was with him, it had came up. She said that she just like chocolate covered strawberries or something of, and she used to stress out to him, just go pick that up for me or whatever. And I believe he eventually did it, and it had brought some joy to her face. But with it being said, once again, a gift does not have to have any monetary value. Just pick something up just to let them know that they are thought of. That'll mean the world to them. That is the key.
That's true, man. Because sometimes, like, you ever seen like your kids give you a gift and it's something that they worked really, really hard on or something like that, didn't cost them anything. Sometimes the value is not monetary. Sometimes the value is the thought. Like if your girl love language is receiving gifts and you hear her say something, by paying attention, making note of that, and coming back with something like that, it doesn't have to be an expensive gift. if it's thoughtful, you might bring her to tears. It could be something you created.
Like, case in point, for example, there's a lot of men that feel like, okay, just because I spend X amount of dollars, she's going to appreciate it, or she better appreciate it. No, I'm like, sometimes, man, think outside. Well, I ain't say think outside of the box, but if you normally don't cook for your woman, cook for your woman. She would appreciate it. It's the effort that a lot of people love sometimes.
Yeah. So I know we talk about the receiving gifts. What are some of the things, like, give me some examples of like quality time. How can we, because a lot of people, like you had alluded to earlier, you talked about quality time. You thought quality time was being physically there at that stage of your life. Tell us, in your opinion, either one of you, what is your example of what quality time would be, and how you would convey that, not coming from the standpoint of what you want, but what she wants.
Man, let's keep it simple. It was one of these slogans with all of last year, or the year before last, Netflix and chill. I'm like, it ain't even about just getting it in. It's just the fact of, okay, it's movie night. What movie do you want to watch? And we really going to sit down and watch this movie. You ain't gonna sit here and be 5 minutes into it and you go doze off and go to sleep. No, it's about, you go put the phone to the side and we go sit down and we go watch this movie and we go cuddle and we go cuddle. That's what we go do. And then if we get in between the sheets, we get in between the sheets, but that's neither here nor there.
I think one of the biggest things is the word quality. Because you can spend time, but is it really quality? Because you can sit back and watch a movie together in the same bed, but are you on your phone? You're on Facebook. You have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Or is your attention solely on that individual that you're trying to spend time with? And that's just not with your significant other. That's literally with any relationship that you actually have. And I get caught up with it a lot. Phones stay ringing. Things of that particular nature, what I'm saying? That I got games on my phone that I be trying to keep up with every day and everything else or whatnot. So
stop.
I think it's twofold. You know what I'm saying? If you know that your love language is quality time, and the individual that you are with is busy. You know what I'm saying? No matter whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, you know what I'm saying? And just knowing that they took out that time to give you their undivided attention, you know what I'm saying? It should be appreciated above all. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we become selfish while we sitting here talking about our love languages and do we speak those languages or whatnot. It still has to be balanced. You know what I'm saying? And you have to recognize the sacrifice that that has been done. If your if your love language is gifts, you know what I'm saying? But the individual that you with don't make a whole lot of money. If he took out the time to save that doggone money and get you a decent gift, you might have wanted Prada, and all he could get was the knockoff. You know what I'm saying? You still got to be appreciative of it. That's my.
Hold on for a second. That might bring in a whole nother topic. So if your woman doesn't appreciate you being knocking on, buying her knockoffs, that means you need to date somebody in your lane, man. Or what some people would say, you need to date somebody in your financial lane. That means you need to go get yourself together.
Even if we talking about being with somebody in your financial lane, you know, anybody can hit a rough period. If I'm out here struggling, you know what I'm saying? I went from making 150 a year to all of a sudden, bam, I'm making 50. That's a nice significant drop. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to push that narrative that just because that person doesn't make that amount of money. What I'm saying is that look at the effort behind what is being done. Look at the effort. You know, because like I said, sometimes we become selfish with this thing. If we don't get exactly what it is that we're looking for, it ain't good enough. So you might be trying to speak that language, but because you didn't say it the exact way that they was looking for, you know, not gonna say it was meaningless, but you didn't get the response that you was hoping for. And really, it just boils back to the expectations.
Okay, I have a question, but before I ask this question, it seems like Lee want to make a comment real quick.
No, I was just going to piggyback on you, D, when you talked about staying in your lane. You know, the dating market is set, and men are clear about what the dating market is. Like, men are clear about what women want because women have a platform to be able to tell us what they want without getting criticized about it. It's the men that don't have a platform to say what they want, because if a man says what he wants, they get criticized for it. They talk about the fallacies in what they want and things of that nature. So I think even if you're swimming against the current, you got to, as a man, and I can only speak about men, you got to know what it is that you want and what you're looking for. Because I remember I used to date this girl who was older than me, and man, if it didn't have a certain name brand, she wasn't putting it on her body. And she was so accustomed to having those types of name brands that when I did go out of my way to get those things, it was like the reaction was like, man, I thought after all I spent this money on, I would get a different reaction, but I just get thanks. I appreciate it. That's so nice. And then go off out of business. So you're right. You do got to find somebody in your lane. I agree with that, D. I really do.
Before we move to that next question, I want to bring up a reference to the question about quality time, because Rome literally hit everything that I was going to say as far as addressing the quality portion and what it looks like. So I'm going to add the second part that I was going to mention, and that's with that focused attention in that time, some women have an extension, which is their kids. So that quality time stretches to how much of your attention is going to be to engage in those kids as much as you're engaging her, because you can be engaging her with all the quality time that you can, but because you're not paying much attention to her children or your children, she can't see the quality in that. But another point that Roma brought out is actually within the book and the portion that was talking about duality, because that question that was asked was about, do you want this man who doesn't like the things that you're interested in to take time with you to enjoy those things, or would you value that man more, or would you rather have this dude that likes to do everything that you do and can do it without you? Because I've seen a lot of women with friends. They want to be with their friends. They like to be with people that like what they like. It's fun and it's good to have somebody that shares that common interest. But when you got somebody that doesn't really share that interest, but is willing to put in that time because they value you, it says a lot to that aspect of quality time.
I definitely agree.
All right, so my question is this may segue into something else that should I say this might lead into a question that your sister Ron wanted you to ask. I'm trying my hardest to stay away from that question. But what happens if your partner doesn't meet your love language consistently? And let's say somebody else starts to meet your love language. What do we do?
Really, let me turn my camera on for this. Really,
All right, hold on. Prime example. Let's speak for the men. They say that I'm gonna go out and say that a lot of men's primary love language is physical touch. You know, a lot of women think that we just want to get the draws. As Tommy would say, got the draws. So what happens if our wife doesn't touch us like we want to on a regular basis? And let's say, for instance, we see somebody else and they want to touch us on a regular basis. What do we do?
for me, it boils down to communication. It ain't no different in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? If you're not being pleased in the bedroom, but you too afraid to say something about it, then at what point does it become your fault? Because none of us up here are mind readers. I try my best based off of my experiences with my wife and how well I know her to try and read, what I'm saying, some of her interactions and actions, things of that particular nature. But at the end of the day, I'm not a mind reader. So if your tank is running on E, right, and this is for any car, what's going to happen? A light is going to flash, right? That's the car literally telling you that, hey, I'm about to run out of gas. And so there needs to be communication on both ends. Because I could be out here thinking, yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's straight, this her love language right here, I'm doing everything it is to make sure that I speak that language or whatnot, and she still could be running on E. Well, if she don't say anything, what am I supposed to do? So,
or to piggyback, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, or to piggyback with what you said earlier, what if you got to a point where you got that love language down pat and it's second nature to you? And then like you mentioned earlier, how now, because of the phase you are in your life, your love language is shifted. Nobody notices the shift when it happens, because it happens. I mean, atoms are moving around us all the time really fast, but we can't see all of the movement around us. So I think sometimes where we get in trouble is we got the love language down. We're doing the things that we need to do. And then all of a sudden, you ever had a situation where what you have been doing was so good enough and more, but then all of a sudden it's not good enough anymore? And it may not be because it's not good enough. It may just be because your partner is changing. Their love language is changing. So you got to basically lean in and you got to get the progress report of love. You got to check it. You got to have some type of systematic system, if you will, to be able to check in with your partner to make sure that you are conscientiously making the changes that's necessary. Because just like you said earlier, you're not going to be the same person that you are 10 years from now. Just like you're not the same person you was 10 years ago. So I think that's why they say marriages work, because you constantly have to do check-ins. You constantly have to lean in. You constantly have to grab your notebook and pencil and go to school on your partner, because your partner is going to be going through changes, and you can't depend on waiting until you hear see the gas light, because you shouldn't let the tank get that low in the first place.
Do you have enough gas to get to the gas station?
Damn, you way out in the woods, and her love language like, come on, and you can't get to the destination to pump that gas. You screwed.
All right, so Sakara just asked, how long do you wait for the reciprocation?
How long do you wait for it to be reciprocated?
Hmm.
To be honest, that falls in the category of expectations, right? Let's look at it this way, right? Let's look at it this way. When you say your traditional marriage vows, right? It says nothing about what it is that you expect from the other individual. It only talks about what you're going to do for that individual. Literally. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? This is not um, justification for you to be ignored or for a person simply not to care. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether you realize it or not, outside of your family and your kids, you make a conscious choice every day to love your significant other. And every day, or not, you should be showing something to show that that love is there.
Hey, real talk. I ain't go front. I don't know if it's an age thing or what. I ain't about to keep talking to you about the same thing over and over.
No,
I tell
I
you, I got.
agree. I
I
agree.
tell you, I have you, and you keep sweeping it up under the rug if you want to. You gonna see me up out the door with the quickness, and I ain't coming back.
Agreed. Agreed. No, agreed. And that's really based on an individual basis. You know what I'm saying? But that's just like, okay, I've been married for 11 years, right? If I'm trying to communicate something to my wife and she's just simply not hearing it for whatever reason, I got too much time invested to just be like, okay, I'm not getting this one thing. So I'm gonna pop smoke. Now that's so completely different. If if you getting your head toe off, if you getting emotionally abused or some shit like that,
Right.
or whatnot. But I was talking about it earlier, or whatnot. And we talked about it yesterday as far as emotional hearing loss. You know, from a pride standpoint, regardless of whether you want how you want to look at it, pride is an emotion. And quite frankly, that's one of the things that blind us men.
All
You
the
know what I'm
time.
saying? So I could be going through an emotional hearing loss where I'm not hearing what it is that you saying. You saying it, but whatever it is within me, right, is not allowing me to it's not registered. I can't comprehend it. I just can't. Yeah, at all. But until I get to a place where my emotions is intact and in control to where I can hear or whatnot, it's just a matter of how I don't want to say how much can you endure, but how willing are you to build? You know, how willing are you to build? Because I talked about it in a book as far as communication. You know what I'm saying? The first thing is three major steps. You know, the first thing is to listen. To listen. And the listening part is big. You got to be able to listen to exactly what it is they're saying, making sure that you're comprehending what it is that you're saying. If
To
if
respond.
if you can't get past that part, then you're not going to be able to get to the hear part. And as far as hearing is concerned, I know listening and hearing sounds like it's so similar, but it's a
It's a
difference.
different thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because I listen with my mind and I hear with my heart. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Can I feel what it is that person is feeling from their perspective? And then from there, it's the response. And I'm not talking about what comes out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. Was I able to effectively listen to what it was that you were saying and comprehend it? Could I hear it with my heart? And then from there, make the necessary response that's needed. And the reality of it is, it's not going to be right away. especially depending on what it is you're asking for. You know, I talk to my wife about all the time, you know, I'm like, look, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. Sometimes, you know, I I get it. I want you to say whatever it is that you need to say, but it's still a way that you say it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not your kid. I'm not one of these niggas in the street. You know what I'm saying? Respect is big. It's big. What she might be saying might be justified, but just because of how it came off, it bloop, bloop,
One or the other. Wah, 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 wah.
pretty much. You know, and literally, I ain't gonna say that's what it boils down to, because it's much more to it than that. If you've been going through, if you've been talking for 5, 6, 7 years, good chances is they hear what it is you're saying, they just don't care.
All
And
right,
that's
so
something.
now that presents the $1 million question. What do you do whenever your partner just don't care?
You know, if they don't care, then obviously, you know, there's no way that they can love you and have your best interests and lead you to where you're supposed to be at from a female perspective, right? If they don't care about you, if they don't care, you don't need to be there. And don't get me wrong, I hate telling people to leave and things of that particular nature or whatnot, but what you gonna do? Live a life of misery? You, that person might be holding up the spot for the person that you meant to be with. That's just,
You know, that's you know that sometimes people say, you know, I don't know how it is in every state, but I know in Virginia, in order to get a divorce, you got to be separated for 1 year. So if you ever in a situation, where you with somebody, I'm trying to think of the single people too. You in a situation and you got somebody that's of value to you, and they just seem like they don't care, and they just seem like they're not respecting you, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you have to analyze what's going on and take a step back. I think sometimes we're ready to throw the whole thing away when maybe we need to just take some time. Because sometimes you gotta, man, and I learned this in my marriage. Sometimes in order to teach a lesson, you gotta do some self-inflicting.
Hey,
because a lot of times,
cut you off. I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't give a damn. History has told me there's always somebody else in the picture, man. That's 100% of the time. There's always somebody else. That ship has sailed.
Okay.
But continue. Continue.
Well, that could be the case, and that could be the case most of the time. But it really depends. It's a case-by-case situation. But something to consider is sometimes you might need to do a little bit of self-inflicting. Okay? A lot of guys out here, a lot of women know the power of the P. Okay? Y'all know where I'm going with that. They can get whatever they want with the power of the P. All right? They sitting on a gold mine. It's shaped like a wallet. You fill in the blank, whatever. But what I'm saying is a lot of times women know that when it boils down to it, they can throw that thing at you and everything is going to be, albeit temporary, everything's going to be all right. And I think if you give them that power to be able to do that, you'll never solve anything and they'll never have any real reason to show any real growth. So sometimes what you got to do is you got to pull yourself away from that situation, because a man by himself on his own can survive his full life. And so it's not good for us to be alone, because we need to get that edge taken off of us. And but we have to remember that women are our companions and they're our helpmates, and they were put here for us, not to misuse and mistreat, but they indeed were put here for us. You don't like it. You don't like it. I really don't give a darn if you don't like it. Take it up with the Bible, okay? And if you don't believe in the Bible and you believe in something else, hey, whatever works for you. But most of the people listening to this call either are Christian or they believe in the Bible or they believe in the principles of the Bible. So you can't pick and choose what you really, really want. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to understand that the women are going to get what they want through being covered. That's it. Father's husband. That's it. And you got a lot of women that are running around here that are uncovered and they're making catastrophic mistakes. So, but that's another subject. But in general, you got to be able to sometimes pull yourself away from the situation so they can have the best opportunity for the air to clear so they can think straight. Sometimes people, they lose something and realize it was the best thing in their lives. And you got to sometimes let them know, hey, look, man, I'm not going to always be here if you're going to continue to, put out things the way you're putting them out. Because at the end of the day, I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. And I'm going to get what I'm worth because I deserve what I am worth. And you can't treat me less than what I'm worth.
All right. I don't know what you said, but somebody disagree with one of your statements. I'll wait for her to clarify that.
All right, so go ahead, Chris. You got that smile. Go ahead.
It's killing me right now because we living in a time where everybody, well, I ain't gonna say in a time, this has been forever. We're making too many excuses for flawed individuals. And you shouldn't sign up for something that you're not ready for, that you're not built for. Because few people can grow into the role or position that they put themselves into. I don't care what's going on with this person. They, like Lee was saying, and what King was saying, there needs to be some accountability for self, because there's obviously something wrong if somebody's just constantly not doing, especially if you're trying to communicate that there's a problem and you don't have those same options. You have 2 points that you're coming from. You're dating or you married. And a lot of people don't meet that qualification for marriage because you have a responsibility and a duty, not only to yourself, but that other person. Those two become one flesh. It's simple, but we have too many people making excuses on how they feel or what they think. You don't know the facts of whatever's going on with that person. You might want to just look at yourself and fix that. Make sure that you got all your stuff in a row. Communicate with that person and find out what's going on that has them doing some things. That person needs to be open enough to talk about the problems that they have if they're tied to you. There's too much hidden mess going on in individuals, and we're trying to find an answer for something that just makes it quick and easy. No woman should be negotiating the P. No man should be doing anything similar, whether it be the D, his money, or whatever. You have your duties and your obligations in the roles that you put in. Point blank, period. Now, if somebody's actually out there and you find out that they're doing whatever, that's your ticket out. But some things you gotta ask yourself this question before you get into something that deep, that with that much responsibility. Am I built to endure, and am I built to work through? Because you're gonna go through a hellacious war, and if you ain't got the tools to deal with it, don't tie yourself to somebody that you see may not have those same tools.
So that boils down to your ability to be able to not just recognize red flags, but being able to respond off of them. Hey Lee, how many flagrant fouls do you need in order to get kicked out the game, basketball wise? 2.
And 1, if it's the flagrant 2.
Yeah. That's how you need to start looking at things. You know, oh, I can work through this. Can you? Can you work through this?
Mhm.
That nigga just punched a whole hole in the wall when you said something crazy to his ass. What makes you think that hole in the wall won't be your head?
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
Mm.
He got 2, 3 kids, and you don't never see that nigga with him. Ever.
What makes you think that he ain't gonna do your kids like that if you decide to take that route?
Exactly.
That's one of them things that's accountability. You
Mhm.
can't be out here calling men deadbeat whenever they show you that they were deadbeats from the beginning.
Mhm.
Yep.
I
At
be
what
having
point?
conversations with a female about that all the time about them red flags. I'm like, that is something that you got to deal with. You already knew it, and you chose to get wrapped up in the game on your own reconnaissance.
I know I watched I can't remember what talk show it was, but it was some dude that had like 30 some odd doggone kids, but I can't even remember how many women. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so at what point are we gonna say it's their fault? Because he got 5 kids, 5 different mamas, they all speaking the exact same thing. You don't never see this stuff with them kids. I mean, seriously,
Right.
seriously, is the tongue game that good? Was it worth it? Because always a risk. Self accountability. I'm supposed to have pity on you when the other 5 times, right? You didn't catch that. Yeah, no, no, no. That's your fault. Your fault. Period.
Your fault.
But I digress. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we have to get to the point where before it even gets to 5 baby mamas, 5 different kids that he ain't taking care of, that inner circle or somebody is holding that man accountable.
Mm-hmm. Uh, D, I don't know what the disagreement is on or whatever the case may be, but that's when the party gets started because what happens is if you look over in the Middle East right now, and the wars that are going on over there, whatever the case may be, sometimes, and y'all, for those that have been in the military, y'all probably understand this better than I do, but sometimes, with like peace treaties or whatever the case may be, it's not that they agreeing to stop fighting. It's just kind of like a truce. Am I right? It's kind of a territorial situation. Okay, these are the lines that we ain't gonna cross, and these are the lines y'all ain't gonna cross. Am I right or wrong?
No.
Right.
Okay, so in our community, we talk about this cold war that we in right now. The only way that it looks like today, what I'm noticing is the only way that it looks like there's some semblance of peace is it's almost like a truce has been made. And it's like men are not, the truce seems to be men are not going to really tell you what they want. They're going to have a different conversation when they're around their boys than when they're around women. Most men are going to say what they want. They're too coward to say what they really, really want because they think that's going to eliminate their opportunities. But you have to be true to yourself. You're not trying to date every woman in the face of this earth. You're trying to find somebody that's in your lane. You're trying to find somebody that vibes with you. And if you agree, and if you disagree with something that a man is passionate about in terms of his position, then that's cool. Disagree with him. Then that man ain't the one for you. That man ain't right for you. But a man needs to step up and be able to say with all conviction what it is that he really wants, what it is that he really desires. If he's being unreasonable about what he wants and what he desires, then that's what he has to deal with. But he has to know his market value for what he can get. And if he thinks he can get what he asking for, he shouldn't settle for anything less than what he's asking for. But it's too many times that a man will say or state his position about what he should do or what he shouldn't do or whatever the case may be, that it'll be somebody who disagree that try to not only just disagree with it, but they trying to change his mindset about what he particularly wants. And a man ain't gonna truly be happy unless he particularly is straight within himself, working out all the things in himself, but also he's going to have to be able to assert what it is that he's looking for, and understand when you ask for what you're looking for, that's going to weed a lot of people out. But that's a blessing, because that's saving you a headache. Because what happens is you sit there and you try to be something that you're not, because you getting with this woman because she cute, she got a body, she got it going on, and then you're living in misery. And then what? You're wasting time. You've been together 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and then you break up. Life's too short for that. We're trying to get it. We're trying to be intentional about what we're doing. So we need to get to the point, and not to change the subject. That's why people are getting killed and crucified for what they believe. Oh, you don't believe what I believe? I'm going to kill you now. Oh, you don't believe what I'm going to believe? I'm going to do something to you now. Let them believe what they believe. Just like you get to believe what you believe. It's your life.
Right.
So with that being said, right, typically when a truce is called, you have both parties that are going to separate. Each party is going to go and sit down and think about what it is that they want. What are they willing to be flexible with, and what they're willing to basically part ways with. Now, we can't speak for the women, all right?
Nope.
But we can start rallying the men and be like, okay, we got to put an end to this Cold War for the sake of our culture, for the sake of our families, for the sake of our communities, right? What is it that we are looking for from our women? What is it that we are willing to compromise on? And what is it that we are willing to just simply let go? What's your thoughts?
To me, it's as simple as communication. It's one of them things. I believe there's certain stuff that, like Lee said, I know this to be a fact. I had a conversation with a few different females or whatever, and some people just fake the funk. They really not upfront with what they want, and like you said, they try to play a role that they're not equipped for, and it's just a recipe for disaster at the end of the day. There's nothing like, okay, like my biggest thing, I don't have kids yet. So I ask a woman, I ain't gonna say straight out of the gate, but a certain amount of time passed, I'm like, do you want kids or do you want to have any more kids? And if a woman say no, that's it. Like, ain't nothing else to talk about. I'm like, I'm not taking on your kids as mine and none of that type of stuff, because no, I'm like, I can love them like mine, but it's still nothing like having my own. So I'm like, that's not an option for me. That is real. You can't be mad at it.
No, you can't.
D, that's interesting too. A woman will go out here and get to a position where they have children. And when you get in a relationship with them, you talk about how many times would you want to sign up for an investment that ain't gonna pay you nothing in return? And that's I hate to be so critical and so harsh, but you tell me, if I get with you, okay, and you decide, because 80% of the women are leaving these marriages, okay, you decide that you don't want to be with me. I done developed time, effort, energy, went to PTA meetings, softball games, whatever it is for that child. I took on the role as a father, and all of a sudden it's done and over. It ain't a court in America that's going to tell me or tell her that she still needs to let me see those kids. And that's what I think a lot of women are missing the boat on, because the two people can lay down and have a child. But if a man wants to have a child and that woman doesn't want to have a child, ain't no child going to be had, period. Because she going to go and do whatever she got to do to get rid of it, whether we're for that or not. So we can want the child all we want. But if she doesn't want to have the child, she does. So the authority to be able to make the decision about that child is that woman. So, but women that have children, they want a man to come in and they want a man to take on those children like their own. And it takes a special man. It takes a special man to be able to do that. And we have some on this call that are in that situation. That's a noble, that's a high character quality to have. But most of these men out here who are ballers and shot callers and that can pick what they want, they got good careers, they don't have no kids or whatever the case may be, and you line up a group of women on one side with kids and one side with not kids, without kids, what is he going to choose? And I think when we start talking about the dating market or whatever the case may be, women don't know what men want because women are getting what men want from other women. And they're not coming to us. But we're not going to other men to find out what women want. We're going to women to find out what they want. We don't like the fact that they want us to be braided up to the hilt. We don't like the fact that but that's what it is. So if we're going to have a chance to get a woman, we got to make sure that we bring in what we're supposed to bring to the dating market. So I really don't, I don't want to sound insensitive. It doesn't matter to me if somebody disagrees with what I'm saying, because the solution can't come until the disagreement comes, and we work with that. But yes, and even in my marriage, how would I want my marriage? I like to be able to walk in the house every day and just get hot, freaky, buck-naked sex all day, all night until I'm exhausted and can't do no more, rinse and repeat, do it again. But that's unrealistic. So the compromise is I won't do that. I won't have that. I want hot cooked meal every breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, my wife and I, we have 3 children. It's impossible for me to put that burden on her and expect her to have any energy to be able to do those things. So yes, it is about the compromise. But I think the first thing that a person, man or woman, needs to do is they need to learn about themselves, learn about what they want in detail. And then once they know what they want, then they can determine if they're being reasonable or unreasonable. But because people don't know what they want, they come to the table and they asking for stuff and they ain't even sure why they're asking for it. And then it's an abomination from the jump.
Honestly, I ain't even gonna say that. Well, to a certain degree, it is that they don't know what they want. I believe that a lot of people be trying to be what somebody else wants so much that they don't have an identity for themselves.
Okay, so sticking with the topic, right? Let's just straight out, like I was asking before, let's tell them this is what it is we want from a physical, mental, and a support standpoint. This is what it is that we want. Who want to go first? No, don't do this. Everybody don't be quiet now because we sitting here, we talking about.
But I mean, it's difficult for me because I've already got. It's difficult for me because I'm already married.
Set the premise. Set the premise across the board that we know that for the most part, every man out there literally wants from a woman. Let's set the premise.
Okay, I'll go. Take them eyelashes off. Take them. I'm dealing with the physical because we're visual. Take those eyelashes off and take that weave out of y'all head. Just take it out. Just take it off.
Hold on. There was advocate time. I was told that a lot of women don't be dressing up for men. They be in competition with other women.
Yes, because they asking other. Yes.
A lot of stuff they do it for other women.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. That's why they have weave in their hair. That's why they have eyelash. Because men, look, most men don't want that. So it's just like, who you appealing to? Are you out here dating other women, or are you trying to date other men to find a husband? You gotta listen to what the men are wanting too. And I'm just telling you, I've asked a lot of men. A lot of men, they not really into you looking like Bullwinkle with them horns on your eyes. I'm sorry. I mean, look, I understand it's just getting ridiculous out here. I'm just telling you, this is just what men are telling me in my circles. It's getting ridiculous. Now, they're not telling these women. That's the problem right there. They're not telling these women when they get out of our circles. But that's for me physically that. And then look, you don't have to. And then, huh?
I said, why are they not telling these women that? Like, that question is kind of rhetorical. I'm saying that to say it goes back to what you said earlier. They get ridiculed for it. Whenever you start telling women, it's like the women be like, it's my body, I can do whatever you want with it. That's a fact. But I'm like, who are you trying to appeal to at the end of the day? If we telling you we don't like the butt implants and all that type of stuff, who are you doing it for then? Because I'm being real with it. I don't like it 100%. I don't care if it's real life or I don't give a damn. We talking about porno flicks. I don't like none of that stuff, man. So I like the natural.
So let's look at it this way. Right? At the end of the day, who are you laying next to every night? At the end of the day. Now, literally, the goal and the objective is, I don't care about any of the nonsense or whatnot. None of the opinions or anything of that particular nature. As men, let's sit here and tell them straight up and down, this is what it is that we want. Either you're going to take it or you're not. You're going to hear what it is that we actually saying, or you're going to keep doing what it is that you already been doing. But what you won't be able to say is, we didn't tell you. So literally, that's all I'm looking for. Let's tell the women within our community exactly what it is that we want from a physical, mental, and a support standpoint.
Mine is wrapped in one word for all three groups. And it is the one word that women have a problem with. I want a woman that's going to be physically, mentally, and spiritually submissive. A woman that can trust that I can hold down my role and my position as the man. That you can trust me to make sure that all your needs are taken care of, are provided for. That you can hear when I'm trying to teach the things that are written, that are scripture. And from the mental part, you can communicate and understand where I am. Because physically, if you can trust me to protect and provide, which are the things that I'm supposed to do and the things that you ask for, and you can trust me to lead you mentally and spiritually, I'm good.
All right.
Because I'm not saying it in a way that I want to be dominant or controlling and tell you everything that you want to do, because guess what? I don't want to. I don't want to have to. I trust you to be a big enough adult to be able to handle responsibilities.
All right. Let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you this question like you are not a married man anymore. Now, I'm going to do this for all the women that would more than likely ask you this question. Are you equipped to lead? Are you equipped to be in a position where
No, let's not even go there. Nope, not at all.
Tell you this is what a lot of women going to ask.
And what I'm saying is, in this setting right here, I don't want to hear it at all. Because we're gonna go round and round. We gonna tell you exactly what it is that we want. I don't want to hear whether we are equipped, anything of that nature, because we can say the exact same thing.
So
we can say the exact same thing. We're gonna go round and round in circles. I
hold
want
on.
the women to tell us what they want, but right now we're gonna tell them exactly what it is we want.
So evidently, I believe somebody got an issue with the word submissive. So I'm waiting on her to explain why she
course.
don't like.
Just like I said when I started, I knew that's the biggest issue that women have. It's a trust issue because they hear the word
Look,
submission, and they think of it as I'm trying to be this diplomat, this like I'm the ruler of the house. Everything I say goes. That's not how it works.
look, look. This is what I'm saying right here. There's going to be a bunch of women out there that's got a problem being submissive, and that's cool.
Oh,
If you want to be if you don't want to be submissive, that's cool. But that's not going to stop me from wanting to have a submissive wife. So if you don't want to be submissive, it's okay. You take your pretty self down the road and you do whatever you feel is necessary for you. But what we're saying here is women are okay to have expectations, but men are not okay to have expectations. So again, when you mentioned earlier, D, about you said, D, I think it's an echo, but you said earlier about women getting dressed up for other women. That's the problem. You're not going to bed with other women, are you? If you are, that's cool. That's your choice. But if you're trying to go to bed with if you're trying to go to bed with a man, then you need to find out what a man wants so you can be in bed with a man, right? So I'm telling you right now, men in general, we want a woman who exudes femininity. That's what we like. Look, if we want to be around a bunch of testosterone, we can sit around and we can do what we're doing right now. We like that different energy, feminine energy. So the second, you know, but in the female community, especially in feminism, they promote it's a bad thing to be submissive and it's a bad thing to be ladylike and have feminine energy and stuff like that. So as long as you're listening to that, then that's what you're going to ascribe to. But if you're listening to us, we want a woman that's feminine. We don't want a woman that's exuding masculine energy. We don't want that. We just don't want that. We want you to be able to follow us, right? We want you to be able to follow us because we have visions. We're the head. We're not the backbone. So if we're saying, okay, this is the direction that we're going, this is the vision that we're going, or whatever the case, we want to find a woman that can see our vision and say, you know what, I like that vision. I like where you're going, champ. That's where I want to go. So that's what we need to do. So there's going to be women out there that think your vision is some bull. And then there are going to be women out there that feel like your vision is good. Find somebody that believes in your vision. I told you, my ex-wife didn't believe in my vision. My wife now believed in my vision, even when I was on the bottom. And now look I look at us now. We've accomplished the things we've accomplished because of the duality and the submission to that vision. So I'm not going to take up too much time because I want everybody else to talk. But those are two things that men are definitely going to want. Because I don't know any man that say, man, I'm looking for somebody with some masculine energy. Yo, I'm looking for somebody that's going to tell me, forget what you say, and I'm going to do what I want to do. Men ain't looking for that. So sorry. I don't care if you don't agree with that. That's not what men are looking for. And if a man's telling you that's what he's looking for, he's just trying to slide into position to get what he wants. And once he gets what he wants, 9 times out of 10, he's going to leave you stranded.
All right. So I see we're not going to be able to get this out without literally bringing this into it. All right. So this is what I'm going to do, right? We have 3 things that we are dealing with. Right. Independence, double standards, superiority complex. Talked about this yesterday, and I'm gonna try not to be as passionate as I was yesterday, right? So as far as independence is concerned, all right, there is nothing on this earth that is independent. Everything, and I talk about this in the book, everything is interdependent upon something else. For everybody out there that's claiming to be independent, right? Got your own business, own car, everything else, right? Subtract your customers from your business. What do you have? Nothing. You don't put gas in your car. It's just going to be a pretty gasless vehicle that ain't moving. Nothing on this earth is independent, period. But that is the narrative that is being played. Everything that is on this earth is interdependent, and it plays a major part. Major part. It's like I talked about the other day. You don't hear doggone the plants, talking about, I don't need you to rain on me, or I don't need the sun to shine on me, because they know they'll die without it. And our communities, our families are suffering and dying because everybody wants to live, both male and female, in this independent state of mind. I make my own money. No job, guess what? You don't make no money. You don't. It is okay. Let me look in the camera when I say this. It is okay to need. Period. It is okay to need. This baby that I have in my hands right now, right? It needs me. And it's okay. I'm not ashamed to be able to say, I need my wife. She needs me. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make me less of a man. It doesn't make her less of a woman. It doesn't make this baby right here any less of an individual. It doesn't. So that's the very first thing that we need to break. The very first thing. You have been fooled, deceived, bamboozled to believe that you don't need anything. And if everything it is that I'm talking about right now, you're saying, I'm still independent. Stop breathing. I want you to stop breathing right now until we finish this conversation with your independent self and see how long you survive. Average person can stop breathing for how long? What, 5 minutes before they hit brain damage? Right?
Maybe.
So if that's you, go ahead. Hold your breath for a little while. That's stupid. Exactly. You sitting back thinking that you independent is stupid. Simple as that. Second thing, double standards. Talked about this yesterday. Reality of the situation is this. We are different. How I handle myself, how you handle yourself is completely different. There are things that you can do in this world that I can't do. There's things in this world that I can do that you can't do. That is nature. Nature. It is natural. Ain't that right? Talk that talk, boy. It is natural. Period. I don't like the fact that you can do this and I can't do it. Well, I didn't ask for it to be this way. It is nature. I don't bleed 7 days a week, 3 days, or however long. I don't. You don't wake up with your stuff stuck to your leg. You don't. It's just simply different. Oh, the double standards is more than that. No, it is not. It is not. At all. What you encounter when you walk out that door is completely different from what I encounter. And all of it is important. Just because you can do something that I can't do, it's no reason for me to be upset, jealous, or anything of that particular nature. You're just not. And a lot of what it is that we go through, a lot of what it is that we doggone deal with is simply because you don't want to accept reality. You don't see any other species out here going through that at all. You just don't. Everybody plays their position. Period. If we're gonna function and operate like a team, I mean, how does it look for the point guard that's doggone 6 foot to sit back and think that they're gonna be able to hold down the center and guard the person that's 7 foot? Yeah, there's circumstances, we've seen it. But can you consistently do it? It's confusion. That's all it is. Confusion. Last part is the inferiority. I talked about this yesterday as well. Talked about this as well. There is no reason for anyone to sit back and feel inferior about anything. I'm gonna use the same example that I used yesterday when we was talking off camera. Same exact example. If I know that I'm not good at doing audio and video, but I know that Chris is, and Lamar's not here right now, but he is, why in the world would I doggone feel inferior to them because they do it better than I do? Why? It's not something that I do. So I stay in my lane, do exactly what it is that I do. In the moment you catch that reality of understanding this is me, this is what it is that I do, and start worrying about what the next person is doing, you don't have to worry about someone feeling inferior to you. It ain't no different than the race issue. Yes, in the Constitution, it is written that we are 3/5 of a person. So you really mean to tell me that we supposed to feel inferior because somebody outside of us said that we was 3/5 of a person when we know we not?
Good call.
We sitting back fighting for equality for how long now? When we've been equal for the same time, the entire doggone time. We sitting back fighting as the people, right? To have a seat at a table that we taught these jokers how to doggone build. In the house that the table's sitting in, we built it. Period. And I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? We have to deal with the nonsense every doggone day. We steady seeing our brothers and sisters getting doggone murked on TV and things like that.
No, you can't.
But literally, it is going to be that way. It's going to be that way until we get the understanding that we don't have to fight for equality. We already equal. Let's start our own. We showed them how to build a table. Let's build our own table and start sitting down at it. The dinner that they might be eating might not even be nowhere near compared to what we'll eat if we doggone build a table and start putting our own food on it. It's no different than the relationships that we in. Women, there's no reason for y'all to feel inferior to us men. Just like I said in the beginning, you're the backbone. We can't look left, we can't look right, we can't look up, we can't look down without you. You just can't. What does it look like my feet telling my doggone mouth I want to talk? Nothing but confusion. My body ain't gonna function and operate right. So we can sit back and we can argue about all this nonsense till we blue in the face, but we not gonna get nowhere. And quite frankly, we the only ones that's doing it. We are. You have other little sectors here and there, but as a collective whole, we're the only one that's doing it. And it was strategically set up that way so we wouldn't rise as a doggone people again. That's just what it is. So y'all have to excuse my demeanor right now because I feel some type of way about it. I really do. Because we're supposed to be way further than what we are right now. Period. I can only imagine what Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, I can name off a couple of people would say about our generation right now. We got all this nonsense that's going on. And we arguing over whether I'm independent or not, whether I'm inferior or not, whether it's a double standard. You want to argue about double standards with us. When we walk out the door, it's a double standard all the time. The energy is misplaced. The reason that I ask the questions that I doggone ask is so that y'all will literally, we talked about peace treaty in the beginning. That's where it all started at. The peace treaty, before that treaty was doggone signed, you had both sides that would separate. We're going to go over here. We're going to find out what it is that we want, that we're not willing to compromise on, what it is that we're willing to compromise on, and what it is that we're willing to doggone just let go of altogether. But we can't even really have that conversation because we still arguing over mediocre stuff. I need you to take that same energy over here to the rest of the women that's over there, and y'all do the exact same thing that we trying to do on this platform right now. Go over there, find out, okay, ladies, what do we want from our men? What do we really want? Realistically, what do we want from our men? What are we willing as women to compromise on? And what are we willing to just simply let go of? And then once both sides know what we want, what we willing to compromise on, what we willing to let go of, we can come back to the doggone table and we can have a discussion and figure out how we can move forward and put an end to this doggone Cold War that's been going on for way too doggone long. Because quite frankly, I don't want my kids, my sons and my daughter, to have to go through it. I don't. And quite frankly, if you're not ready to have that conversation, step to the side. The men that's not ready to have that conversation, step your ass to the side and let the ones that's ready to have that conversation have it. Because I can assure you that when those peace treaties and stuff were done, there were people out there that wasn't ready. But them peace treaties still were signed and people moved forward. And I'm asking, low key, I'm pleading, because it is necessary for our doggone communities, period. For our families, for our household. Shoot, I'm speaking for my household. It is necessary. Period. I got 7 kids in my house that I got to prepare for this doggone world, and it's not going to work if me and my wife are at odds. Our communities ain't going to work the way they need to work if the men and women that are the core of our communities, of our families, can't come together and settle our doggone differences. Yes, it's a whole lot of conversations that we need to have. It is. But can we get through this one? Can we sit back and tell y'all exactly what it is that we want, what it is that we're willing to compromise on, and what it is that we'll just simply let go? Can we? That's all I want to know. I know that's right. I'm gonna jump off my horn. Somebody else can talk.
You're right, man. We are a mess, man. We are a mess, and it ain't nothing to argue with in regards to any of those 3 points that you said, because Martin Luther King said that he's afraid that we integrated into a burning house, and we need to get out of the burning house, and we need to be separated for a while, is what he said. Can you still hear me?
From a biblical standpoint, and I've been trying to stay away from it to a certain degree because I know everybody up here, you know what I'm saying, don't see things that way. But from a biblical standpoint, it says, how can 2 walk together lest they agree? It didn't say they had to agree on everything. It didn't. It said lest they agree. You mean tell me we can't find one thing that we agree on so we can move forward? One thing? I know when I do my Bebop presentations, right? When I do my Bebop presentations, and I'm going out, first thing I ask is, where are my Christians at? Where are all my Islamic brothers at and sisters? My Kemetic brothers and sisters, my Egyptologists, my naturalists. I try and cover every basis that I know from a religious standpoint that separate us. And then I ended with, where are all my melanated people at? And sit back and watch all these different doggone ideologies come together and rip and doggone rave because we all got that melanin running through our skins. That's it right there. See how quick a common denominator was given? It's the exact same thing. Ladies, yeah. My melanated sisters, y'all go through struggles the same way we doggone do. Every time you walk out the house. We want the same things for our kids, for the next generation. Can we simply agree on those things? Maybe that's where we need to start at. Let's look at the things that we do agree about. And let's build from there. Too much focus. Solomon, he was a wise man, man. He was super wise. Because when he wrote death and life lies in the power of the tongue, always try to figure out why did he say death first? When the reality of it is, it's so much easier to look at the negative versus the positive. That's just what it is. You see the memes all the doggone time. Matter of fact, I seen one the other day when they talked about, okay, a person's support on the way to the journey. It had one person sitting over there. And then on the right-hand side, it had a whole stadium full of people when it was talking about the cheers of once they arrived to where they at. It's literally what it is. We quick to look at the negative and don't even think about the positive at all. Why is that? Why can't I sit back and tell you exactly what it is that I want from you? Whether you do it or not, that's on you. But if you love us melanated men the way y'all say y'all do, and you want us to listen to you, does it not make sense for you to listen to us as well? How can you ask me for understanding if you're not willing to understand me? Don't make sense. Don't make sense at all. Balance is the key. Balance. And I talked about it yesterday. When it comes down to balance, I don't have to put 25 pounds on one side, a 25-pound plate on one side, and another 25-pound plate on the other side. It can be 25 on one side, 25-pound plate on one side, and doggone 2 10s and a 5 on the other side, and it still be balanced.
Hey, Ron.
Chip.
I don't mean to interrupt, brother. I'm just coming in, and first off, I just want to apologize as an 18 member of my absence and everything, and I deeply apologize about that. I love what you're doing with the book. I love the camaraderie that's going on amongst the group. And I don't want to be redundant. I don't know if you guys had already covered this or whatever, whatnot, but just going off what you just said, I think what it is especially right now, this society we're in now, as far as this, we're living in a fast-paced environment, meaning, you can be whoever you want to be on social media, TV, this, that, and the third, and maybe you guys have already touched on it, I don't know. But the women of this new generation, or this, where we are now, they see that and they want this microwave type lifestyle of a guy, this, that, and the third, and they make these lists. They make this list of what they want a man to be. They want to have financial this, protective this. You want to have a this, and this. But they don't even match up to the list that they're making. So, not saying our wives or anything like that. It's just what I'm seeing now. And it goes back, as far as whatever. You make this list of what you want, but you're not even remotely close to what you want on that list. So I think it's going to take for the women, especially, the big mamas and the ones we have left, to tell these ladies, hey, look, in order for you to get what you want on your list, you also have to be able to mimic that. I see a lot right now as far as, like I said, it's a social media world, and we as men would never measure up to what they see on social media. Love and hip hop, this, that, and the third, it's taking over. That's the norm now. We can't compete with that. what I mean by we, meaning the men that are believing the standards as far as, you know, taking care of home and getting it from the mud, you know, going out there grinding and, you know, providing that security for your family, and, you know, not out there just, yeah, money, yeah, that's not security. That's not, you know, stability. That's that person trying to advocate a lifestyle that when they go to sleep at night, they toss and turn because they're not at peace. They're not, you know, they don't have no peace of mind, or, you know, whatever. So that makes it hard for the guys like us. And I say us because, you know, we're not perfect, but we take care of home. At least we try to. And I think our generation, as far as that, is becoming extinct. And I read reading your book and listen to what you guys say now, it does bring the question, is this null and void? Is it worth even talking about this? Because where we're going into the, you know, into the years to come, will this even matter?
It'll always matter.
Granted, it'll always matter, but to who? What ears would it fall on? Because our generation is dying out to what you're to advocate what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Is it too late? I'm not saying this is what I'm saying, but these are the questions that, is it too late to try to, you know, you have a daughter, Rome has a daughter, Lamar has a daughter, I have a daughter, Chris has a daughter. You know, this gentleman here, I don't know if he has, I haven't met him, but, you know, we you know, how can we compete with what's going on right now to raise our daughters to be and understand, hey, it's not just that, okay, a guy's supposed to treat you this way, but hey, you're supposed to also, you know, be able to, you're supposed to also to, you know, not just him treat you that, you have to have something, you know what I'm saying? You have to have that substance. You have to be a you know, I could say a godly woman, but you have to be a virtuous woman, someone that's, you know, you have to treat that man right as well. You can't just sit there and you can't say certain stuff because you're a woman and think, okay, well, all men ain't gonna pop off.
You got to promote that shit. It's up to you.
So it's just like, how do we compete with what's going on right now? Like I said, you guys have maybe touched on it. I've been out of the picture, you know, lately, and I apologize for that. And we can, you know, definitely discuss that offhand, but you know, I'm just putting out there, you know, hearsay, you know, what, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, see where we're at with it, catch up with what you guys are talking about. But this is just what I see in the world today, society today. It's like, damn, we don't have a shot as Black men, because our Black women now are so into this social media world. You can create how you look, this, that, and the third. And when you go out into the world, you have to own that now. Hey, I've seen you on social media. This, and this. You're not like this now. So now I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna judge you. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say this, do this, say this, do that. You know, it's and for men too. But for the topic at hand, you know, you said ask them what they want of us. And if that man is who we're, you know, mascotting to be, if we go to her and say, hey, what do you want from us? I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. How can we compete with that?
That's the reason why I talked about from a reality standpoint. You know, you gotta be realistic.
Right. To Monte, brother, man, you hit on so many different things, bro. And we could have a series and seminars for days based off what you said. But one of the things that stood out to me the most is the importance of what we're doing right now is what's gonna lead us into the future as far as the next generation. You are absolutely right. We live in a microwave society. We live in a microwave world, a hurry up now world. Nobody will argue the fact that if you went to the grocery store and you put that food that you just bought from the grocery store on that stove and let it cook, and you put that seasoning in there and let it cook, and you put that thyme in and let it cook, that's the best tasting food. And that would, a microwave meal would never compare to a meal that took time.
Fact.
What it's going to take is for us to continue to do what we're doing right now and take that same time and instill that into the upcoming generation. As you stated earlier, we all have children on this planet, all of us. When we were growing up, everybody on this call and the majority of the people that's going to be watching, when we were growing up, social media didn't exist. Social media didn't exist. The things that our children are exposed to right now, you didn't see it at all, and if you did, you had to sneak and see it. And there were consequences if you got caught looking at some of the things that our children are just a thumb scroll away from seeing right now.
That's a fact.
We have gotten so far away from the good old days, the discipline, the structure, the morale of the home, that's why it seems like it's so far gone right now. For example, I bought an Oculus Quest, it's a virtual reality device, and it's a multiplayer platform, and I'm hearing kids younger than my youngest, who is 11, using profanity, cussing, saying all kind of stuff. Now, mind you, they're in a lobby with adults. The sad part about it is the adults are condoning what they're hearing from this child. And when I said, and this is what I said to the little girl, I said, you better be glad you are not my child. Well, why is that? Because you would be eating that same headset that's on your head right now. We didn't play that growing up in my house. We don't play it now. And then when I said something to the little girl, mind you, now everybody can hear what everybody is saying. I get ridiculed. So that behavior is condoned, is welcomed. Everybody on this call knows me and knows how I handle my children. Y'all can tell. Let one of mine say something crazy like that. It's curtains for you. We've gotten away from that. We've gotten away from when it's time to sit down and eat. All right, y'all, everybody cut the phones off, cut everything off. We sat down at that table. We say our prayers and we eat. We've gone away from, all right, when it's time to tuck the kids in, say, I'm guilty of this too now. Saying a prayer, teaching our sons and daughters how to get down on their hands and knees and pray. And when you wake up in the morning, thank God and give the Most High reverence and praise for seeing another day that was not promised to you. Another thing that we've gone away from is, as married men who have sons and daughters, showing love to our wives, telling our wives that we love them, showing them that we love them. We've gotten away from all of that. So when you have all of these things that are embedded into our children that completely separates them from the good old days and the way that we were brought up in the old school, you're absolutely right. It seems like it's far gone, and like there's no hope for our generation, especially our melanated people. And Rome, you are right. It was designed for it to be that way. It was designed for them to be that way. You think about welfare back in the day where it was set up where the woman could be the only one in the house. The woman can be the only one in the house. Let that man get caught in that house. The penitentiary system, you getting yardstick numbers for weed. Now it's legal. It was designed to destroy the Black community. And then not only that, the other thing that is very crucial to our society is I don't trust you. we don't trust one another, and rightfully so. You know, we are the only culture that destroy each other at the level in which we do. So why would I trust you? I don't know if once everything gets going, you gonna stab me in the back and run off with the bag.
Some of it is trust.
Only difference.
Is, I believe Ron touched on that earlier.
You kill who's closest to you.
Everybody don't believe in the same thing that somebody else believes in. Say, for instance, you know, back in the day, I believe you took on the other day about actually it takes a village to raise a child up. Nowadays, you better not put your hands on somebody else's child. You can't do that anymore. I believe in corporal punishment, or you can't talk to my child in a certain manner. You know good well your child be running out here out of pocket, man. But you won't let somebody else discipline, and you won't even discipline your child.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't talking about on the grill either.
My daughter called herself, you let her tell it, she said, Daddy, I was falling off. So one day I was TDY to Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, and she decided that she was going to run away. And she did. She ran away. Well, we called the sheriff and everything like that. We found her. And at the time, she was 16 years old, 15 or 16 years old. The sheriff told us that there was absolutely nothing we can do about it. At the point that she decided to leave the house, she had every right to leave the house, and there was nothing we can do. If she didn't want to come back, she didn't have to come back. That is crazy. I'm gonna tell you another situation that happened over here. How society is. A couple summers ago, I was holding a football camp right out here at in my neighborhood. We got a big old football field down the road.
Oh.
Man, I had kids from all neighborhoods, man, and we were just having a great time just doing football, doing football practice and stuff like that. So one of the neighbors decided that he would pull his truck up to the side of the field and start recording my two little ones. Now, they was a whole lot younger than what they are right now. Now, mind you, during that time, there were a lot of complaints about the teenage kids that was in the neighborhood, and every teenage child that was in this neighborhood were Black. Every one of them. If you were over the age of, I'll say 12, as far as the teenagers go around here, you were Black. You didn't see a lot of white kids in this neighborhood as far as teenagers, not a lot of them. It's primarily Black over here. This guy pulls his truck up to the edge of the field and he starts videotaping, and he tried to lure my little ones to his truck. Well, thank God the community that I live in won't having it. So as soon as I pull into the neighborhood, I see the kids running to the house, and several of the neighbors were standing out in the middle of the road, and they flagged me down and they told me what happened. Those of y'all know me already knew what my initial thought was. Okay, we ain't gonna talk about that. But I did the right thing. I talked to the neighbors. I got all the information that I could. I found out where the gentleman stayed, and I called the police. Police pulls up. We tell the police what happened. This dude tells me that this man was in his right because the park is considered public property. I mean, public. You can videotape. I said, officer, I understand all that. And that's all fine and well. But talk to me about the fact that this man just tried to lure my children to his truck. We don't know this man. You don't know this man. And who's to say that he was successful in luring my babies to his truck and got them in his truck. Now I said, if I'd have went down there and done what I initially thought about doing, and you would have came out here ready to arrest me, when all I'm trying to do is protect my children, officer. I said, can I file a report? Can y'all leave something on file? Is there anything that can be done to prevent this? Can you go and talk to this man? Say something. Is there anything that can you do anything for me? As a result, there was nothing that this officer could do. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. The next time you come out here, you will be coming to pick me up. He said, are you communicating the threat? I said, officer, you can take it however you want, but I will do whatever I have to do to protect my children. If that means the next time you come out here, you have to pick me up, then that's what that means. So it's not just our community that we have to be mindful of. We also have to be mindful of the powers that be. So to answer your question, bro, it's going to take what we're doing right now, getting on this call and living up to what A-Team stands for. That's what it's going to take. Every day, without cease, we have got to continue to get this information out there and draw in as many men that we can and have this dialogue. I wanted to touch on something that you said earlier on when you was talking about having the dialogue with the wives or with the women in general. That's easier said than done, my brother. Because you got some men who know exactly what they want, but they too scared to say something. So what do, Monte? They follow that social media or that microwave facade. I'm too afraid to be upfront and honest and transparent about what it is that I want.
Do you blame him, brother?
No. I don't. So because I'm afraid to be a man and be transparent, put pride to the side and do what I know is right and be upfront with my woman or be upfront with the women, period, and let them know that this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. They're afraid to do it. So because of that fear, they move over to the microwave and they put on this facade. Let me hurry up and be something that I'm not to mask that I need. Then when they get that, from the woman, they don't know how to maintain it. That's the problem.
I agree.
That's the problem. You got pussyfoot ass men scared to stand up and say exactly what they want, exactly what they need. And then when the rubber meets the road, when the shit hits the fan, they can't handle it. So you really can't even blame the woman. You can't blame the woman because this is what we're giving them.
Let me ask you this, bro, because I don't know how long we're gonna be over here. I don't mean to cut you off. First, let me say, man, it's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, baby.
And
Good to see you too, man.
Trying not to get you damn emotional because I miss you so much.
Don't do that, Monte. Don't do that, man. All right, you about to start a whole nother. If those of y'all don't know, that's my baby brother right there.
Yeah.
I ain't seen him in a minute, bro. It's my brother. That was my first child right there.
I love all y'all, man. Chris, Rome, D, the gentleman up there, brother. Hey, man, you associate with the group. I love you. Whoever else is on, I can't see whoever else is on that. But to go back, like I said, I don't know where you guys started off or where you at with it. Just a little bit I heard from my brother Rome. When he said we need to go to the women and ask them third. I'm a janitor. I make bare minimum. I'm at a school. I'm a janitor. I see this young lady that I like. I see this woman that I feel like, oh my God, she's amazing. She's beautiful. Because how I was raised and because of the upbringing that I have, of how, hey, you say what you want. You respect women. You do your best at your job. You make sure that you take care of yourself, this, that, and the third. I go approach that woman. and she does something totally opposite than what I see in my mother, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, dang, I did what I thought I was raised to do. You know, I'm a good guy. You know, women say they want a good man, a God-fearing man. They want a protector, this, that, and the third. I am that. Oh, and then when you go approach that woman, it's, oh, you know, you a janitor, you this, you that. So why can't I be? Why am I not saying, you know, this is what
Right.
you really feel?
I know where
Why
you're
am
going.
why am I pussy? Because I decide now I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to go and try to, okay, this is what they really want. So I'm going to go and try to build this fake persona that I'm not. And I can't live up to the hype of what I put out there now. And then when I get said woman, I can't give her everything she needs because I don't have it. But this is what she puts out there, which goes back to what I said. If you make a list of what you want in a man, make sure you mimic that list. Okay, you can't put out there, oh, I want this, and this. I want to build a man to be like this, and this, and this. And then the woman is nowhere near what she wants in that man.
Oh, I thought you were sitting over there.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I get what you said, and yes, this generation of men is fucking horrible because of, like you said, the microwave society, the microwave of, you know, the way life is right now. But I can't really fault them because it's just like when Dad would say our music that we listened to was, you know, he didn't like our music. Hey, this is the generation that I grew up in, Dad. You know, hey, this is music. But we've grown to learn and know and like the music that our father listened to because the R&B style back in the day, it's not vulgar, it's not disrespectful to women. It's not putting women down in a singing form. It's nothing like that. R&B today is you might as well just be rapping. It's not real music. It's not real R&B because it's putting women down. This and the third, and the third. So this is just the generation that I grew up in, Dad.
Women make the shit popular. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hold on. This is just the generation that I grew up in. No. I'm talking to the group.
You know.
So to say that, you know, I can't blame the men of this generation because this is what the women put out.
Because women like this shit.
Do you have something? You want to say something?
No.
Okay. So this is just what the women put out.
Okay, so
And I'm not trying to be just, you know, be funny, but I mean, if you may have a valid point, say it.
so this is what we're gonna do, right? For the men that are afraid,
No, 18.
for this microwave generation that we're talking about right now, we're gonna do what we used to call in church stand. We're gonna stand in the gap.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this time went through because now I can rephrase my question a little bit because really it's not about what it is that we want. It's about what we originally I talked Lee brought up about the peace treaty, right? And that peace treaty is made. It's got to separate. They figure out what it is that they need. All right. Let's lay it on the table. And I'm gonna go first. That way everybody know exactly what it is that we're talking about. What is it that we need from our women? What is it that we're willing to compromise with? And what is it that we can do away with altogether? And ladies, I want y'all to really, really, really pay attention, okay? First thing that I'm gonna say is I need a companion in every aspect of the word. I need to know that after I just got finished fighting for our household in this world, that I can come home to peace and safety in your arms, knowing that I can lay next to you, naked and unashamed, express to you my emotions, and not be judged behind it. not be viewed as less of a man for being naked and ashamed with my woman. And secondly, I need my helpmate. Talked about it before. You know, I'm able to produce the vision, but you are needed to give birth to it. I need that from you. I really do. You know, whatever aspect or capacity, I need it. Whether that's when I done had a rough doggone day or lost a deal or I done failed in some doggone way, I need to be able to come home to your arms. Know that you're going to be there and let me know it's going to be better and help build me up to go back out there and do it all over again. Same way that y'all need us to take care of you, I need the same. We need the same, the exact same. I'm out here moving 100 miles an hour. I ain't fed myself or whatnot. I ain't even thought about eating. I need you to think of me enough to pull me to the side. Take this right here. You need some energy to keep doing what it is that you're doing. This is what it is that I'm telling you that we need. We need you in your most natural state. What I mean by that is we need you to understand that we love you just the way you are. All that stuff you see on TV with the video vixens and everything else, we're not gonna lie to you. Yeah, we like seeing it. We do. But that's not what we need from you. We need you in your most natural state, loving yourself in your natural state. Because quite frankly, if you can't love yourself in your most natural and vulnerable state, how can we? And on the flip side, how can you do the same to us? How? Need you emotionally prepared. And quite frankly, in this day and age, we need you to help us work through our emotions. That's just what it is. Because what society has put out is that we're not supposed to have any, when the reality of it is we do. And we haven't had the liberty the same way we all have to be able to express your emotions freely. So we need your expertise in that. And in return, will help you to understand how we filter through our emotions and make logical decisions. Now, I keep going forever in a doggone day, but I think my brothers understand exactly where I'm going with this now. So I'm gonna let somebody else go. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep rolling. Ooh-wee. All right. I keep it rolling. It's too easy.
Everybody afraid to put out what they got to say.
Oh, so it's too easy. I keep it rolling.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say this because and there's a reason why I brought up what I said, because a lot of people have no understanding of what the word submission means. And there's a reason why I stick to that word, because there's roles in submission. It's not being dominant. There's a mutual yielding on both sides. For me as a man to ask for a woman that's submissive requires a whole lot of responsibility on my part. I need a woman to not be defensive when she hears that word, but understand that if I'm asking for her to be submissive, I'm asking her to be the vice president to my presidency. Just like what you were just saying, I need a companion. I'm not looking for somebody that I have to monitor all the time. I want to be able to know that I can do the work that needs to be done to make sure that my house is provided for and is safe. But I have someone that has a managerial role in the house that believes in my leadership and knows that I can do that and affords me the opportunity to do that, to prove that. Knowing that I'm going to be seeking counsel from her. Because it would be ignorant of me as a man to ask a woman to be able to yield to me and not even know what I'm about. If I can't come to you and tell you what it is that I'm trying to do, but all I want to do is bark orders because that's what I understand of submission, I'm sorry, you're less than a man at that point. And that's my personal opinion. Because you don't ask someone to yield when really you want them to stop and let you have control. So understand everything that I said before about I need submission physically, mentally, and spiritually. That is where I am with that. There's a lot of responsibility because I expect you as a woman to be able to hold that responsibility because you're just as important as I am in a relationship. My position in the relationship does not diminish yours. But this is what I'm looking for. I need a well-oiled machine. When we come together, we can go back and forth and talk about the things that need to be done and they be executed in order. So if I bring up something, this is what I want to do. I'm giving you end games. These are the goals. That's where I'm at in my headship. But when I come to you, I'm coming to you like, what do we need to do to make this best? Because this is what I have planned. What can you bring to this to make this better? Because I'm not the all-seeing, the all-knowing, the all-powerful. If I wanted it that way, I could be alone. I didn't marry a woman just to have dominance over her. I got a partner. So that's what I want. That word by itself has so much that's wrapped into it. It's not a word of individuality. It requires work from you, not my work for you, which means you need to know your role and your responsibilities, your capabilities, not what I think you should be able to do. Natural order is natural order, but what we need in our relationship, two totally different things. Just like any of these other brothers in the 18, the way you carry that out is going to be different. So don't mistake the word submission, which is to yield. Whereas if I am a governor, you may be some other representative, we work together. I'm not a dictator. I am the head, but I need my manager. You're not beneath me. Everything that I need done along with you, from you. We reach a goal, that's what it is. If I create something or say I want to do something, that's what I want to be the end game. I bring it to you, like I said before, we communicate. Submission is not dictatorship or anything of the like. So I urge women to look up that word, think about what I said and realize that, because that's going to always be a big thing. Understand it just as well so that you can correct some of these other females while we correct some of these other males who have a great misunderstanding of who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. Because I'm gonna always go back to nature, just like King. Always gonna go back to nature. If you can't give me something that's realistic, I don't want to hear it. It has to be something true. And check me on what I bring to the table as well. Because I can't see everything.
Hey, brother. Hey, Chris. I didn't know if you was done or not. I didn't want to interrupt
Yeah.
you. Just to piggyback off what you're saying, man. And I was out doing some other stuff, so I don't know if you guys touched on it or not. But the like you said, the word submissive. Sometimes women, especially, let's keep it real, our women, uh, black women think that some of our black women feel like that word means slavery, give up their rights, or they're belittled, or they don't have any say so, this and the third. For example, in my household, if that doorbell rings, I'm going to answer the door. And it's not because, oh, she don't have any say so or anything like that. No, it's because I'm held accountable for what happens in this house.
Mhm.
And sometimes it sucks because, like you said, you're the head of house. The word husband comes from house band in the Bible. What scripture? I don't know. I'm still, trying to catch up on those things. But it comes from house band in the Bible. That means everything that happens in this household, within our union, our marriage, falls on me. You cut the head off a snake, the body fails. The devil's going to do what he can, everything he can to make sure that to crumble, our temple. And if that means if that means using my wife, my kids to get at me, the head, he's going to do so. I'm going to answer that door, but hell, the answer that I'm going to give may be from my wife. You know what I'm saying? You see how it's she, she submitted to why I said, I'm going to answer the door, because if something happens, it's going to happen to me first, not you. But I'm gonna go back and discuss with you what's going on, and the answer, I'm going to deliver the answer, because if they don't like the answer, it's going to happen to me, not you. If I fall, you got to pick up and go. But a lot of times, it's not that, going off what Rome was saying. Hey, what do you want from us? Sometimes it takes these women to say this to other women. It's okay to be submissive. It's okay to say, to be submissive. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's no other way around it. I don't. I'm not trying to sugarcoat or whatnot. It's okay to be that, especially if both of you are on the same wavelength.
That's what I was just saying to them in there. This kind of conversation, other women that agree with it need to start speaking up instead of letting the ones that talk the bullshit speak the majority for them. As long as they're silent, they'll come off as going in one ear and out the other, coming from a man, or sound like nagging or complaining. But if they start speaking the same stuff up, which they know to be true, even the ones that rebel against the natural order still want the natural order and still truly believe it to be true. They just fight against it, but they still want the benefits of it. So the ones that truly follow it, if they actually started speaking up, more of them would listen, I think, at least.
And that comes with a lot of responsibility from us too. If you do have that person, that woman that doesn't mind, understands what it means to be submissive. Being submissive comes with a lot of power. And on both parts. I submit to my wife a lot of times, more than she probably did to me, but it's not because of I'm weak or anything like that. She may be more keen and knowledgeable in certain things than I am. You know what I'm saying? She's my helpmate. Like you said, Chris, my helpmate. You're not behind me, you're beside me.
It's not a competition. You shouldn't be fighting with
at all.
Yeah.
Nobody can bust our bubble from the outside. Only from the inside. Only from the inside. And if we fall apart on the inside, then of course everything else, our wall is going to be vulnerable to anything that's try to comes up against it. We have a united front. We understand. Okay, well, she submits to me, I submit to her. And if you go back to what you were saying, brother, if you look about it, we hear him talk about it earlier. If you think back, when we get married, it says for the man to love thy woman, thy wife, as though Christ loved the church. Yep. It don't say for the woman to love thy husband. It says to honor, obey, submit, yada, yada, yada.
Respect.
And respect. It don't say to love though. So that's just like you gotta the pursuit of happiness. You gotta pursue that. When she submits to you, I have to understand, I have to acknowledge that and not take it for granted. some men take that for granted. Oh, I gotta, she do whatever I say. Yeah. Those, you got to be able to decipher those men from these men over here. But with what we're doing right now, I believe in it. We believe in it. Will it reach? Let's keep it a stack. There's only a few people looking at this on Facebook right now. There's only a few people looking at this on Facebook. If we was famous, if we was everything that the society wanted us to be or expected us to be, oh, millions of people. And then when they found out what we was talking about, you really think they're gonna listen to it? No. Now I'm not down in what we're doing. I'm just putting it into reality. We got a lot of work to do. What we're doing right, what's going on right now, we have a lot of work to do, and we're on a small megaphone. Yeah. We gotta figure out a way to get this out. And yeah, I get it. We gotta start small. That's what it takes. We'll probably be dead and gone by the time this really takes effect. Hey, you remember when the 18 boys was talking about that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for it. I'm for all the smoke that comes with this, because anytime there's a group of people like us trying to, orchestrate positive change, Black Wall Street, we won't mess with nobody. We was doing our own thing. We ain't want for nobody, y'all. We don't need y'all, but we don't need nothing from y'all. We good. Oh, they don't need nothing from us. Let's go burn their stuff down, because now it's gonna get to the point where, you know what I'm saying, they don't need us. And they're the majority. So, and like, I'm just trying to hit on all keys here that you guys are on. Like I said, I came in late, so, but just to piggyback off what my brother was saying, Chris, it's just, I get what you're saying, and I totally agree with you 100%. However, I'm gonna play devil's advocate as far as what somebody else may be thinking. Well, what if, I do that, and I try to be the man, be the head of household, and it's just this. Once again, it all resorts back to this microwave lifestyle that we live in. There's only a certain select few. We're about to be extinct that actually believe in what we're talking about. It's not far-fetched that we can't get it out and bring it, to existence. But I mean,
then we'll die doing what we was called to do.
Sir?
I mean, so we'll die doing what we was called to do.
Exactly.
This is what A-Team stands for. And regardless of what you just said, just further proves that there's work that needs to be done. And every big thing known to man right now started from a small idea. Everything that we know and see, that we can touch, everything that we consider to be big conglomerates, it all started from an idea. So yeah, right now our participants may be small, but our vision is big. The vision is big. The hope is big. And we're backed by the Most High. We're fueled by the Most High. Everything that we're experiencing right now, it's not new. This was predicted. This is what we were called to do. Everything that we see going on right now, the generation in which we live, the stuff that's going on in society, it was all predicted thousands of years ago. But we've been equipped. And we are the few that have been chosen to like Rome said, stand in the gap and lock arms with those that are like-minded, to be fishers of men who are unlike-minded. There's no question that there's a lot of work to be done, and we cannot sit here and focus on who's listening, who's not listening. What we have to focus on is the work. Period. This is a job that we have to do, so we have to do it, regardless of who's listening, regardless of who doesn't like it. We got to do it. And if we die in the process, we die empty, because we gave everything we got. And I don't
Just
know
to make
about
sure that,
nobody else. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm going to die empty because I'm gonna give everything I have to this cause. I'm gonna give everything I have to make sure that the generational curse that I have allowed in my life stops, because I'm not gonna let it go forth with my children. And that's what it's gonna take. In order to change the community, you gotta change your house. Don't look outside your four walls for a difference until you've made a difference in your house. This is how it works. And this is exactly what has happened. If we as parents have allowed our children to be subject to this bullshit that our children are seeing right now, if we don't check it in the house, we can't blame them for when they go outside the house and do that which they have seen in the house. You got to stop it in the house. And when they go outside the house, they will act accordingly. See, in my house, we grew up, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. No, sir, yes, sir. That's how it was when we grew up. My children to this day who are grown, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, sir, no, sir. I'm 40 years old. My daddy ain't got not the first leg. He ain't got no legs. He don't have a left hand, and he got 3 fingers on his right hand. I still have a healthy fear of my father. And we're not going to talk about Tina, my mama.
Lamar,
We're
we
not
was
going to
just
talk
talking
about
that
Tina.
today. We just talked about that today. Me, Mama, and April. We just talked about today. I
Yeah.
still feel my parents.
I still feel I'm grown with 2 kids out the house and 2 more out on their way out the house. Grown, paying my own bills. If my mama called my name wrong over the phone, I lock up. We done got away from that. When you got kids telling their mom and their daddy to close to get out their room, telling their mom and their daddy to shut up or go away or mind your business, coming in, doing whatever they want. You got parents scared of their children. I can't even fathom that. I don't understand that at all.
So what's the rest of y'all guys' answer to that question? Because, well, Ron, my last part, I guess y'all can understand that it's wrapped into it because it requires a level of compromise for that mutual understanding with submission. But I still want to hear what the rest of you fellas have as far as that question, what your answers are.
About the submission or what Lamar is talking about?
No, the actual question that Ron put out.
I'm sorry, what was the question, bro?
What do we want?
What do we need? Let's tell the women what it is that we need and what it is that we are willing to compromise with and what it is that we're willing to let go altogether.
So it's for me to answer that question,
you're not going to get everything you want.
Hold on, Tate.
That's why I stress what it is we need.
So in order for me to answer that, I'm talking about me. I can't speak for nobody else. I first have to understand myself. You understand me? I first have to understand myself. Where am I strong at? Where am I weak at? Now, once I've determined that, I look at my wife and I say, okay, are my strengths, does she match my strengths? And if she does, then I know that there's something we can work together on 50%, 50-50. It's a mutual understanding. I don't need you for that. I know that if I was to fall by the wayside right now, drop dead, you got that. What I need is, and this is big for me, first and foremost, is respect. I don't want you to need me. I want to be desired, because if you need me, well, that tells me as a man that if I do fall short, I die, I get locked up, and you need me, then you're not going to be able to function without me. I don't need you to need me, desire me. That's where the companion comes in. So first is respect. second is I want you to desire me as my companion. I will say the third thing is I want you to be my cheerleader. Go, baby, go. I want my wife to be a cheerleader. Because I know for me, through personal experiences and my 20 years, it ain't nothing like when my wife gives me that, all right, baby, you did that. Nice. What? Well, I believe I can go a little bit further now.
So, man, is that words of affirmation, love language?
Yep, same thing D was
Yeah.
saying earlier.
Yeah, I need that. Notice not one time did I say I need you to cook. I don't need you to clean. I got a strong back and two hard-working hands. I can get in there and clean that house. And if need be, baby, I'll go on and fry that chicken for you. Don't worry. That ain't what I need you to do. And like Rome said earlier, I can produce the vision. I just need you to bring it to fruition. I need you to give birth to it. It's no different than human consummation. It takes a man to produce the seed and to plant the seed, and you have to give birth to it. So it's no different than anything else. I produced the idea, and I gave it to you, and you gave it life. We built a 4,000 square foot house. I produced the way to do it, and when you stepped in it, it became a home. I could not do this without you. There was no need for me to do this without you because I'd be just fine in a double wide. I don't need this. I'll be just fine with a double wide and an outhouse if it was just me by myself.
Me and no requirement.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I need. And I can promise you now today, no, who's grown up, who's matured, who's learned by many times failing. Many times I failed. Many times I fell short. I would be a fool not to get my shit together. When I think about when you should have left me, you didn't. I've given you every opportunity to chuck deuces, and you didn't. And you were operating within your right. You've gone far and beyond the call of duty. And I know I may be straying away from answering the question per se. I'm going to answer it, but I also want to give thanks. It's taken me 40 years to understand who I am and understand my value. It's taken 40 years. And in those 20 years, I've learned I got exactly what I need in my wife. And when I think about all the things that I've done and how much, if you let society tell it, she should have been gone yesterday. She's still here. That's what I need. I need that motivational driving force to help me keep going. I don't always like her, y'all. I don't always want to be with her. If we're gonna keep it a band, can I keep it real? I don't always want to deal with her. But if I'm gonna be in my if I'm smart, I understand and I realize ain't nothing for me out there in them streets. Because I damn sure ain't finna do another 20 with somebody else. I'm not about to have no more kids.
That's the real shit.
That's it.
Huh? I'm not about to do it again. So it'd be in my best interest to make right what I've caused, what I've done wrong with the woman who stuck by me when she didn't have to.
You gonna always get tired.
Yeah, if we're gonna be real, let's be real. You don't always want to. You again.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Even when you see what's walking on there, it's wrong. This real man talk though.
Yeah.
This is the dialogue that we need, because see, a lot of folks scared, and you talking about, and a lot of people looking at some point, a whole bunch of folks gonna be looking at this here. I'm putting this out for the world. A lot of men scared to say what I just said, but it's the truth. And I look at it no different than how I talk to my sons. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing with you. So if the question is, what do I need from my wife? It's just that. I need my respect. I need you to desire me, companion. And I need you to be my cheerleader. And every now and then, watch this. Watch this right here. A lot of men ain't gonna say this. Watch this. Maybe sometimes I need you to be my coach. In this game that we playing right now, sometimes I need to step back and give you the clipboard. I need you to be the coach. Because those areas that I fall short, you are strong in. And a real man will allow his wife to be that strength for the sake of the household. Like I said in one of our earlier shows, I'm horrible with finances. I ain't got no business paying bills, none. Don't give me a big lump sum of money and go say pay a bill, because I'm gonna come back with a bill paid and a PlayStation game, maybe another pair of Jordans, something that ain't got nothing to do with the house. But I give my wife that same lump sum of money. She's gonna pay on all the bills. She's gonna get some groceries, and she's gonna make sure we got a little bit of money in the pocket. That's what she's strong at. And like I said, I bet not dare talk about cooking. And that's just two of the many strengths that my wife has. So that's what I need from my wife. I don't need to sit up here and talk about what I need from a woman, because there ain't there another one. My wife. A lot of y'all know me. I done cut the fool out there. I done act the monkey out there. I don't deserve that woman. I don't deserve her. If you let society talk, if you let society tell it, she should have left me a long time ago. So in answering that question, I just want to take some time out to give a little bit of thanks. And I believe in giving roses while they are yet still alive. 2020, we lost a lot of people last year. And a lot of those people we did not give them their roses. So I think it's important, especially as married men, to give those roses to our wives while they are still alive. And while the blood is running warm through their veins, we better get them their roses right now. Because tomorrow ain't promised. I know I'm probably getting off on something, but tomorrow's not promised. We can sit up here and talking to all till we blue in the face about what we as men need to do. There are certain things that we can do right now, this very moment, that will make a significant difference in your household tonight. And one of them is making sure that before your wife lay her head down, give her a rose and just tell her thank you. Because she put up with a lot of shit. We got work to do. We got a lot of growing up to do. And I guess if I had to have a fourth, I would say forgiveness / understanding. Those are the four things that I feel like I need from my wife. I'm off my soapbox.
Well, I'll say is, I don't know if anybody else wanted the floor or whatnot, but like I said, I don't know when we're gonna head out of here. Just to piggyback off what you were saying, bro. She gets on my reserve nerve. Let's just put that right there. My reserve nerve. I mean, ain't no more after that. That means when I'm standing in front of the judge, hey, she was on my reserve nerve. I'm not liable for what happens after that. In saying that in a joking manner, you know, you said something as far as it's 50-50, and it's speaking for me in my household, we come to understand that it's never going to be 50-50 with us, because sometimes it's going to be 70-30, 20-80. If I get home first, you know what? I'm going to start dinner. And that's my 80 to her 20 or 70 to her 30 or vice versa. So I'm going to make sure, hey, she done got home, she done started dinner, she done did this, house clean, this and third. My 30 needs to be extravagant. Okay, what do I need to do to make sure that this 30 is very essential for you at this point in time, because you came home, you did your thing. You know what I'm saying? So in some aspects, it may not be 50-50. It may be 60-40. You know what I'm saying? So so we have to take what we can, you know, what, hey, I'm gonna take my 40, and like you said, I'm gonna come home with some, it may not be every day of the week. It may be, oh, hey, I'm gonna make sure that, hey, come home with some flowers. Just because it's Tuesday, get her a card, or, you know, shout her out in some type of way, give her flowers in some type of way, because it's Tuesday. It's more so when you ask the question, or when we ask, it's a general question for men to ask them, what do you need from us? And I concur with everything he said. I piggyback and redundant, and, you know, everything that he said. I need just that. I need her to be my cheerleader. I need her to be my support factor. I need her to be and right now she's my cheerleader, my lawyer, my jurisdiction, my judge. She's everything. Everything. And I agree. I don't deserve her. I really don't. I don't deserve it. I get emotional thinking about the fact that she doesn't even know that, you know, the fact that I don't deserve this woman. Especially compared to what, you know, I've already experienced. You know what I'm saying? This is my second marriage. But that was a whole, you know, and not even belittling my ex-wife, that was a whole learning tool, a learning situation. We loved, but, you know, it just wasn't, we're best friends now. We just wasn't for each other in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? So, but in that situation, right now, me and her, we're close friends, you know, and that's amazing. But as far as marriage, if this ain't it, if this isn't it, I don't care what nobody say. Is nobody, she don't love you. If what I got ain't it, she don't love y'all. I'm telling you, your wife don't love you. That's how I feel. If I see somebody holding hands walking down the street, I'm gonna walk between them because it ain't real. If what I got ain't it, then that's how I feel. Because like you said, you put 20 years in the game. I refuse to do this again. I'm not gonna do it again, especially if this ain't it. This is my idea of what it is, what God wanted me to have. This is my idea of this is my definition of love. She gets on my reserve nerve. We've been arguing all week. But now it goes back to what you said, Brother Rome. Think about what you said. What can you live with and without? I'm more prone to everything ain't meant to be said because of the sanity of my marriage and my household. You got it, babe. All right, you got that one. No, you got it. You got it. What do you want to eat? Because I know, even if I'm in the right, even if I know I'm right, and sometimes it just ain't meant to be said. Because I know how it's going to affect her. And I could be 100% right. That's strength, that's character, that's love, that's patience, that's being the head of things, because he's watching how I handle my household. She acting up. He gonna look at me. It's not fair. It sucks. It sucks. Why don't you get at her, God? She the one that's nah. You need to fix that. This when I talk to God, this is how I talk to her. Yo, she tripping. You need to get your girl because I don't think it's gonna. No, you need to go handle that. The order. When I wake up, I praise God, my wife, then everybody else. God, my wife, then everybody else. What I need is for her to do the same thing. Like you said, brother, cheer me on. A woman's touch, oh my God. A woman's touch is so amazing. It puts that exclamation mark on everything. Speaking from my situation. I for example, something crazy. I don't clean our bedroom because even though I feel like it's clean, whenever she comes in there and she does it, it's something totally different. It's like Taj Mahal. Now the living room, kitchen, bathroom, all that stuff, I could do all that, but somebody, she just, when she puts her touch on it, it's just different. It's the want factor though. She's not, it's like you said, I don't need her to cook. I don't need her to do this, do that, and the third. The want factor. She wants to do this. She wants to make sure that I'm taken care of in all these aspects. She wants to make sure the house is clean for me. And I get on all the time. Why are you apologizing to me because you didn't clean the house? I didn't ask you to clean the house. Well, I was tired, this and the third. I'm good. I didn't ask you to clean the house. You don't have to clean the house. Fuck it, let it be dirty. How are you feeling? What's going on with you? I don't need you to clean the house. I don't need you to cook. I didn't, I know I was off, but I was tired. I didn't cook. Okay, you good. What do you want to eat? Plenty nights I don't come home, 12 hours, 16-hour days. What do you want to eat, man? What do you want to do? What do you want? I'll take up this. I'll do so you don't have to, or I'll make sure so you don't have to make sure. And that's the want to factor. It's not that she can't. It's not that she don't want to. Some things may be happening. Women go through a lot of stuff physically. They take on a lot more. They can multitask more than men. Sometimes it can be a downfall for them. But hey, you good. All I want you to do is when I put that key in the door, I got a hug and a kiss waiting on me. Especially with the job that I have. I got a hug and kiss waiting on me. That's it. As far as what I need, we're our own party. We go out, we do things together, we're our own party. We dress together, we do all types, we're our own party. I can care less about what anybody else thinks or says. As far as what I need, I just need her to, like you said, want me. I want you to want me. It's different when you want it. I want you to want to do ABC for me, to me, about me, this, that, and the third. She's crazy. This woman is crazy, but she's crazy about me. Which makes it all the better. I love a crazy woman, especially when she's crazy about me. So as far as what I need, I just need her to do whatever her percentage is, 70-30, 80-30, whatever. I want her to want to do it. That's all. I just want her the want factor. Not necessarily a need, the want factor. I want her to want to do it. But in order for her to want to do it, that means I gotta show and prove on my end too, to put her in that position. Because that one ain't gonna last long if I ain't doing it right. And like you said, bro, no, I don't deserve it. You know me. That come on. So my thing is,
everybody on this call know how.
Everybody on this goddamn call, we know each other. We do not deserve the women we are with right now. But this is how you know God got a sense of humor. Because I said I'll never get married again. I'll never get married again. I'll try to go this way. He brought me back this way. Every time I try to do something else, he brought me back, put me on my face. That's how you know he got a sense of humor, as far as I'm concerned, because look at where I'm at now. Never been happier, never been more secure. And I'm not a punk. I don't feel like I'm a punk saying this about my wife. My wife. I don't feel like a punk saying this. I'm not less than. I get my own ass whoopings. And what I mean by that is you're not gonna stray me from how I feel pertaining to my wife. You feel like I'm a punk, okay, then say that to me. Come say, But to her, she calls me king. I don't feel like that because I don't deserve it. But it's something I'm doing that makes her feel that way. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. A-team, anointed together, encouraging all mankind. That means women too. We were anointed for some reason together, our union. I don't know, and I don't want to know. I'm not gonna question God about it. Every time I question him, I end up on my face. But I do know if this ain't it, then there's no such thing as love. That's how I feel. That's how strongly I feel about it. If this ain't love, I don't feel like there's no such thing as love. And that's just me. But that's my 2 cents about it. And I don't know, B, you got something you want? So.
All right. So.
You got something you want? You good?
We're an hour and 15 minutes over the scheduled time. So.
The service is subject to change due to the movement of the Holy Spirit.
I'm gonna apologize to my 2 brothers. Oh, now we're gonna keep this conversation going. I'm just we about to shut this live down real quick. Or not. Apologize to you, D, and you, Lee, for not being able to answer the question. We'll pick this joint up next week. When we do this thing all over again. I thank everybody, that's on this panel right now, because everything that has been said and everything that's going to be said is impactful and it's necessary. For all y'all that don't know or whatnot, originally this was meant to promote, the book that I have coming out, right? There's a bigger picture to all of this, much bigger picture. And in essence, that's really what it is that we actually promoting. In order to get to that big picture, that Cold War has to stop. We just doing our part to make sure that we put an end to it. So I'm gonna do the standard. If you don't already follow me on Facebook, it's King Nab, KINGNAIB. Instagram, king.nab, KING.NAIB. Follow me, like, share everything that was just said, or not. And we're gonna pick it up. We're gonna pick it up next Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 12 o'clock my time. We're gonna make sure that this go around. We start at 12. At 12. And most high willing. But we appreciate you chilling with us. And we're gonna stop this live. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all doggone day.